So I'm very much new to the whole Linux thing. At the end of 2025, I poked around Linux Mint in the live environment and my curiosity was piqued. But it wasn't until about a month ago that I went all in. I set my MacBook Pro aside and took this ThinkPad T480, putting Debian Linux on here and fully wiping Windows 11. And now after one full month of using Linux on my main personal computer, I have some thoughts. And folks, that's what this video is all about. 5 things that I've learned after using Linux almost exclusively for a full month. First, if you don't know me, I'm Spencer and I like to talk about simple living, frugality, and digital minimalism. Let's get into it. So honestly, I've had a lot of fun using Linux almost exclusively for the last month. Like I said, I've been using my T480 as my personal computer, as my fun machine. I've still been editing my videos on my MacBook Pro just because that machine does that best, but for everything else, it's Linux on my T480. Mainly, I've been using the Linux setup in a desktop configuration. I've had this paired up with an e-ink monitor so I'm able to read more comfortably. And after a month of using this Linux setup, spoiler alert, it's not going anywhere. Let's get into the 5 things that I've learned after using Linux for the last month, how my opinions have kind of changed over Linux in general, and what I see it being valuable for, at least in my life. So the first thing that I've learned after using Linux for 30 days is just how accessible it is, even for somebody who doesn't have much technical computer knowledge. Yes, I have this YouTube channel, but I'm mainly talking about low-tech stuff on here. I'm sure I do have more tech knowledge than the average bear, but I'm definitely not comfortable going into the terminal and doing coding and things like that. And honestly, that's the biggest reason why I put off using Linux for so long. It just didn't seem approachable to me. It seemed like I didn't have the skills in order to master the OS. And I think a lot of people have that assumption about Linux as well, that it's going to be very complicated to set up. A lot of times when you see pictures and videos of people's Linux setups, you see the terminal and you think, I don't know what that even is. I don't know anything about that. So if you're someone who's interested in Linux, but you don't have any experience with it right now and you're worried that it just may be too complex for you, I can tell you it's actually really not hard. As somebody who has tried 2 Linux distros, Linux Mint and Debian Linux, and went so far as installing Debian Linux, I didn't have to do anything different than installing something like Mac OS or Windows would make you do. I have yet to have to go into the terminal and actually do everything. They've made it so streamlined for new users that it really isn't complicated. Especially because Windows 10 has reached an end of life and a lot of people are trying to find an operating system that'll work on their existing machine, Linux has become so easy and so welcoming to new users and actually give them that feel that remind them of their previous operating system. Linux Mint is recommended extremely often for people who are looking to come over from Windows because it has that look and feel that makes you feel like you're at home. Another distro I'm looking forward to trying on the channel sometime soon is Zorin OS. Zorin OS also has that design that's supposed to be very enticing and accessible to new users. It's supposed to feel like your old OS so you didn't feel like you really had to make a jump to anything. I believe they have several different themes that you can customize the OS with as well so that it can look like Windows, or you can even make it look like Mac. And even in the case of Debian, which no one was really recommending for me to try, I just wanted to try it because I knew that it was one of the oldest distros, that was super easy to set up as well. It has the GNOME desktop environment and to my eye looked a lot like Mac OS. The actual installation menus that I went through when I was first setting up Debian, they have a little bit more of a retro feel to them, certainly not as sleek as something you'd see on Mac OS, but they were extremely simple and I was able to get it set up no problem. Many of the Linux distros that are especially aimed at new users, they come with software managers, some sort of app store essentially where you can download all of the apps that you're going to need so that you can make that jump easily and not be like, well, where's all the stuff that I'm used to? There's Office Suite options, there's email clients, really anything you need, and it's all free and open source. And using a bootable USB with something like Ventoy on it, you're able to try multiple distros as well and really find out which one works best for you. You can do the live environment like I did with Linux Mint, and you can just see, does this thing feel right? Does this feel like something that I want to use? So folks, if you're worried about Linux being a little bit too hard for you to figure out, I would say if you're watching this channel and this video, then it likely isn't. You don't have to be a master hacker or some kind of tech wizard to figure this out. It really is easy. And because at least in the personal computing space, Linux is kind of this niche thing, there is a really nice community around it as well. When I was first trying to just learn about Linux in general, and even just troubleshooting the very few problems that I've had, there's a huge community of people willing to help on Reddit. It's likely that any problem you've had has been had by someone before, and if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find a helpful solution there. Okay, folks, well, before we move on, somebody's just walked into my home and handed me this VHS tape, which is apparently from the sponsor of today's video. So let's pop it in the VCR and see what it is.
This video is brought to you by boot.dev.
Yo, kid. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Do you ever look at the computer and say, what's really going on in here?
Maybe you've installed Linux, or maybe you've went into the terminal and taken a little look-see. You're feeling plain tired of just using software and want to start building it. Well, my friend, check this out. Today's video sponsor is bloat.dev, a place where you can learn back-end development by actually writing real code. I've been using bloat.dev myself to get up to speed on things like Linux, coding in Python, and more. Because yeah, I like low tech, but I want to know tech too. No endless lectures, no 20-hour video courses. You learn the same way that programmers do in the real world, by actually building things. And bloat.dev has gamified the whole thing to keep things fun. You complete quests, earn XP, level up, unlock achievements, and even fight bosses as you work your way through the curriculum. And if you want extra practice, you can utilize what bloat.dev calls the training grounds, where you can grind through coding challenges until the skills really stick. If you're curious about bloat.dev, you can read and watch all of the course material for free. And then if you want the interactive coding features and progression system, that unlocks with the membership. So if you're ready to move from using computers to actually understanding them, go to bloat.dev and use code Spencer for 25% off the first year of the annual plan. And now, ladies and germs, back to the video. Well, that was weird, wasn't it? The second thing that really impressed me about Linux after using it for the last month is just how customizable it is. When you install most Linux distros, you're not really getting a fixed, lockdown product in the same way that you would with something like Mac OS or Windows. Instead, Linux often starts with the bare essentials. It gives you enough tools to get the computer running and to have a working desktop. Some distros have more and some have less. But from that point, it's really up to you how much more you want to build it. I mean, just starting with the base setup, the idea of the desktop environment, how your desktop is actually going to look. With Linux, you can choose a variety of options, which will give you a completely different appearance based on your choice. Coming from Mac, you can't really do that. You can move your app icons from like one side of the screen to the other. You can change your background on your computer, but that's pretty much it. And the customizability on Linux, it goes so deep to a level that I have not gotten to and probably won't get to for a while. But a lot of people do something called ricing their distro, which is essentially souping it up and customizing it in the way that they like. Very similar to the idea of souping up and customizing your car. But in the same way that you can customize your Linux setup to really fit your needs, build it up as much as you want, you can also do the opposite and strip it back. If you want a simple machine that can just browse the web and check emails, you don't want any more crap than that, you can do that with Linux. And because you can build your Linux setup so lean, it also makes it extremely efficient, and we'll come back to that idea later. And for anyone who's watching this and you're new to Linux, don't feel like you're going to get something that's unfinished that you're not able to work with if you install Linux. That's not what I mean by customizability. In my Linux Mint video, I was able to do a lot of different things. I was downloading apps, I was watching YouTube videos, I was working in a word processor. I was able to do all of that in the live test environment. And the live test environment, it's essentially like a demo space where you're able to just try out the distro and see if you like it. And it was fully featured, fully spec'd out, and I really liked what I saw. If you just want a computer setup that works and you don't care about customization, you can do that with Linux as well, and it's going to work just fine for you. But the point is that customizability option exists with Linux. All right, and now moving on to the third thing that I've learned about Linux and really appreciate is the fact that it's just so lean. It isn't bloated. I had never used Windows 11 before, and I hadn't really used Windows at all in the last 10 or 15 years. And honestly, coming over from Mac OS, which is pretty sleek and minimal, I was shocked. No offense, Bill Gates, but here comes some offense. I don't know how anyone uses Windows nowadays. I think that they have rightfully earned their title microslop. I don't think I actually have the outtakes from that Debian video that I did earlier, but when I was still on Windows on the T480, I just remember being shocked by the lock screen and how cluttered it was. Up here, we got Microsoft 365 subscription ad here. Here again, start your Microsoft 365 family subscription today. Again, 2 ads for that right there. We have the market, we have the weather, we have an event, and we have a quiz. Like, what is that? And again, coming from Mac, I was like, what? Why is all this trash covering my computer screen? Ads and then some random garbage quiz? Needless to say that other than playing my Elder Scrolls, I did not spend any extra time on Windows. The other thing that Microsoft's been doing a lot lately, which has been getting a lot of negative attention, is the amount that they've integrated AI into Windows. This AI implementation comes in the form of Copilot, and they have put this thing in almost everything. So if it wasn't enough that Windows is trying to constantly hustle you and push Office 365 subscriptions on you, they're also shoving AI down your throat, whether you like it or not. From what I can see, many Windows users don't like this. It feels very intrusive, it's hard to get rid of or disable, and it just looks kind of bad. Like I said earlier about Linux being very much a customizable, choose-your-own-adventure type deal, it comes with none of that AI stuff weighing down the OS. Similarly to AI, Linux is just way less bloated compared to something like Windows. In my life, I'm also using a Google Pixel with Graphene OS on it, and similarly to Graphene OS coming over from Android, you're going to find that it's a much faster and less bloated experience. Having way less of that junk installed from the get-go, it really makes a difference to the performance of your device. And my T480, it's not a spring chicken, it's from back in 2018, and it performs admirably with Debian. And I'm sure a big reason for that is just because of how much lighter Linux is compared to something like Windows. Okay, now moving on to the fourth thing that I've learned about Linux that I've really come to love it for. I think it's the thing that I like the most about Linux is the fact that it makes your tech last. Coming back after Windows one more time, since the sunsetting of Windows 10, that whole debacle, there's a lot of people who have very capable machines that can't really move to Windows 11, but there's no reason to retire them completely because they work just fine. But because people are rightfully concerned about security patches and OS updates, a lot of these devices could be bound for the landfill. And folks, that is the biggest appeal to Linux for me. It's the free and open source aspect, the community-driven aspect of Linux that has this huge device support. So you're able to run pretty much any age of computer, at least something from the last 15 or 20 years, on some Linux distro and keep that device going. My T480 is from 2018. At some point, Windows wasn't going to support it, but because I'm with Linux, I don't have to worry about that. But forget about computers from 2018 like my ThinkPad, it can even be computers from 2012 or 2010 or even earlier. If you find the right Linux distro, it will run on that computer and keep it going. The biggest reason for this is the nature of the free and open source community. These wonderful people in the Linux and FOSS world, they focus on keeping software accessible and adaptable rather than forcing people to constantly upgrade their hardware. Instead of putting a bunch of AI that nobody wanted into your computer and expecting the newest hardware to run it, Linux distros are meant for everyone. And that includes the most spec'd out modern desktop all the way down to some old laptop which might otherwise be considered obsolete. And it's really this sustainability aspect that makes me so attracted to Linux. It makes me want to move there completely. Part of the reason that I haven't fully moved over to Linux is because my MacBook Pro is so good for video editing. But I think I'm honestly an edge case. I think the average person using their computer is using it for web browsing, watching YouTube videos, maybe word processing, that's about it. And for that, an 8-year-old computer like my ThinkPad T480 is even still overkill. You could run something even cheaper and even older, keep it for longer, prevent it from going to the dump, and get all of the use case that you need out of that machine. All right, folks, and now wrapping up this video with my fifth and final thing that I've learned from using Linux over the last month, and that's just the fact that the free and open source community, it's contagious. I guess what it is that once you just realize that your entire operating system on your computer can be a free and open source thing, you kind of wonder, how can I do that with the rest of my life? Maybe you'll put Graphene on a Google Pixel like I have, actually an open source operating system on your phone. That's been quite an experience as well. And being a bit more in the Linux community over the last few months has gotten me a lot more aware and interested in other open source software. From just looking into things like self-hosting your own cloud photo storage to building a Raspberry Pi game console or even self-hosting your own streaming service. I've used some open source software for a long time. I used OpenOffice for years and years, and I also have tried Organic Maps, but really getting into Linux, really getting into what I would say, for me at least, feels like the heart of the open source world, it's kind of changed how I think about digital minimalism, or at least how I implement it in my life. Instead of just thinking about the number of apps you use or even your screen time, you start just thinking about who controls your data, the amount of people who are collecting and monetizing that stuff, and you try to minimize that. And for me, the free and open source world, it's been a really cool way to do that, and I love the community around it. On YouTube, there's tons of different people exploring this subject, and as I said, there's also a lot of people doing that on Reddit. So folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. These are just my thoughts after using Linux as my main personal computer for 30 days. After my 30 days, I am really enjoying Debian, but I do have a bit of a hankering for some distro hopping, so if you have any recommendations for me, let me know in the comments. If you're a Linux user or somebody who's curious about getting into it, I'd love to hear from you down below as well. Tell me what your experience has been with Linux and the free and open source world in general, what distro you're using, and what your favorite thing about the whole experience is. Thanks very much for watching, folks. I appreciate you as always, and I'll see you in the next one.